I should have had notes.
You should have had notes.
I
You
took
don't
your
need notes.
notes.
Who needs notes?
What are notes?
Notes? I have a note taker during sessions. That's really good.
Oh, I would love a
I-
note taker.
Oh.
Note
should
taker
do
would be
that.
amazing.
No, note taker like as in one of my
use,
players. Yeah.
This is why I use a transcript feature in case I need notes.
There you go. There you go. Well, welcome everybody. I am Shannon. Welcome to Creator Spotlight. And we've got quite the crew going on. So if you go across the screen on the top, I'll introduce and then I'll have everybody say a little bit about who they are and what they got coming up, and then we'll kind of dive in. So we're joined by Mika from Roll D5.
Hi.
We've got Luna. Excuse me.
That's me.
As I choke. And Northwolf from Twisted Fates Productions. Recent name change. So if you're searching
no, not name
Northwolf,
change.
don't.
Not name change.
Well,
It's
your
rebranding.
tag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're searching, don't panic. He's still there.
I'm still here. I swear.
Yeah.
I was panicking.
I did a little bit. I was like, where'd he go?
Yeah, I was a little worried. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't seem it, but I was like on the inside, my heart is going bump, 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 bump. What's this? A new friend has vanished, has become someone else. What?
Yes, and then you ate the ice cream sandwich that
Yeah, and
Kazuki.
it made
And
everything
didn't
better. Like
share.
Kazuki. No,
Yeah.
because I'm so far away from everyone. I'm sorry.
I know. I don't like the far away. Kate is in our chat saying she's pretty sure she's our note taker. She's not wrong about that. So let's start a little bit about let's start with just kind of who you are and what you've got going on, and then we'll kind of go around the table from there. So Mika, why don't you jump off first?
Oh boy. Okay. This is what I needed the notes for to list everything that's going on. Hi, I'm Mika. I do things. I'm the co-creator of the Crit Award nominated channel Roll D5, where we specialize in playing indie games. And then I personally also just love jumping around playing indie games. You can catch me, of course, play. And it's funny I say that because like the 3 long-running series I'm part of, which, wow, I should check myself before I wreck myself, are actually all 5e. So on Mondays, I've got, I know, I've got,
Tisk, tisk.
not all of them. Okay, there's one that's, I'll get to that first. Ravenloft Misfits on Talking XP with Johnny, where I play a cleric. Wednesdays, there's Horde of the Dragon Queen on. Wow, my brain is just not. It's shut down at Wanderer's Haven. I have a delicious ice cream sandwich and then just went, no, you don't need to do anything else. You don't need to think. Then now on Fridays, every other Friday, is Weird Wilds War on Entropy Emporium. And then the 2 exceptions to 5e, we're playing a Powered by the Apocalypse system on a podcast I'm part of on Spotify called The Heart is a Dungeon, where I play La La Lemon, a fake crow who smokes. And then also I run a Triangle Agency AP on Talking XP called Performance Review. And if you haven't checked out Triangle Agency, I'll run a game for you. I love it. I'm actually mentioned in the credits in the book on like one of the first few pages. So I played this game so much. So that's most of what I've got going on.
Triangle Agency is a blast. I will play anytime. It's so random. Yeah, Kate says the fact that you're speaking at all and camera ready this soon after GenCon, props.
Yeah, Kate almost got a mini series I'm going to be on with Kate on Don't Kill My Character. Yes.
Yeah, which is also 5e, but we won't talk about that.
No, we won't.
Yeah, yeah. Fun little fact about all of your characters. They have something in common.
Oh yeah, all of my characters are named Lemon in some way, shape, or form.
Did that
And
come
if
from
somebody
anything?
donates $10, I'll list all the lemon names I've used this year.
You
I'll
can't
send you my
remember them all.
Venmo.
That's
No, I have it
amazing.
listed down in my Lemonomicon.
In your Lemonomicon.
Yeah, I forgot who it was that suggested that name. But a huge thank you to them because I think that's beautiful.
I feel like that could be a drinking game. If you can say Lemonomicon, have to drink.
Phenomenon.
Lemonomicon. Do 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 do.
Yeah. And on that note, we'll switch on over to Luna for a moment, who something pretty exciting happened in personal life recently.
It's true. I didn't
Oh.
stream last month. I do a stream monthly, and I didn't do it last month because I was busy getting married that weekend.
Ooh.
So so that was very exciting. And it's also extra fun because we jokingly say we met online, but not like that. We met through both playing TTRPGs online.
That's amazing.
Yep. So
Nice.
Very cool.
yeah, yeah. So
And
I'm Luna, GamerMomLuna on all the socials, literally all of them. That's yeah, pretty much all of them. And I run a monthly stream called Tales from the Tavern, which is a um kind of similar to this. It's a panel style interview where it's me and 5 guests, and we sit down and we talk TTRPG for 2 hours. But everything that we talk about stems from questions that come in from chat. So there's never like a set anything that we're going to discuss. Questions range everything from how to handle difficult players at your table, to what's your favorite system, to whether or not you can drink a water elemental, and what flavor is a gelatinous cube. So, yeah, we've had some very interesting
Lemon.
conversations. Um,
I think it depends on the
I
there you
color.
go.
yeah.
Or lemon lime.
That lemon lime is the one that comes up the most often. Somebody once said mint, or like wintergreen. Yeah.
Yep.
And then somebody else was like, "You guys, that's like a dungeon Roomba. Why are you eating it?" So that's fair.
Truth.
Yeah, yeah. So I
As
run
a
that monthly, and then you can also catch me right now. I'm doing a mini arc on the Stories RPG podcast, where we are currently playing a story arc called Transdimensional High, where we are playing high school aged monsters, but not like Monster Hearts monsters. This is a kid friendly, all ages podcast. The episodes are about 30 minutes long, and literally everybody can listen to it. I've gotten my first I've been streaming TTRPGs for close to 5 years now, and I finally got my first ever 2 pieces of fan art, and they were both from kids, and that just made my day. I was like, fan art from adults, great, but fan art from kids, you've really made it. So
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, so I play a character. Her name is Grady, and she's like I always affectionately refer to her as a Lisa Frank colored dragon folk who
Ooh.
skates around on rainbows wearing Heelys. So she's super fun. She's perpetually late for everything. She's just that kid who cannot get out the door on time. But out of the rest of the crew, she's the only one who is not riddled with anxiety. So, so that's nice.
I was gonna say
But
you're
it's a really
describing
I have
me, but
that.
then when
I
that
love to
last
have
bit, I
that.
said no.
Yeah. No, it's a super fun podcast though. The crew is great. I play that with Dan from Almost Bedtime Theater, and Michael Lowe from oh my gosh, I just drew a complete blank on Luck of Legends and Classical Glyza, and we have a really good time with that. So yeah, we're about halfway through the story arc. Plenty of time to catch up. There's like 6
That's
episodes, but
awesome.
like I said, they're all only like a half an hour long. So
It's so sweet too.
yeah. It's really fun. It's a good time. And yeah, I was mentioning before we went live, like I was just on air like 2 nights ago, and that's because we do Tales from the Tavern the first Sunday of the month. So we just had that a couple nights ago, and then gearing up now for September 1st, we'll do an episode that weekend. So yeah.
Which, as a former guest of the Tavern, I can say the mayhem is my favorite.
It's so fun. It's so fun. It just makes the whole thing so much more entertaining than if it was just me sitting there asking a list of pointed questions. Also, it makes the work it's way less challenging on me because I don't have to like do a deep dive on every single person that comes on and like, what do I need to ask these people about? Because it's just whatever chat wants to know. So
yeah, everything is ruled by chat.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way, drop your questions in if you've got them. We'll switch over to Northwolf a little bit. Twisted Fates Productions. Tell us what you've got going on.
Well, thank you so much again for the opportunity to talk here on the podcast. My name is Northwolf 911. I am one half of Twisted Fates Productions, and we are a actual play production company that focuses on indie TTRPGs. Currently going through Candela Obscura, and that's really, really exciting. We are currently on chapter 2 of Candela Obscura, and it's been a roller coaster ride. We actually have quite a few chapters planned out for this season. So the first season of Candela Obscura is almost at its halfway mark, which is pretty exciting and insane to think about. We are currently also producing Bison with another GM, Aaron in My Laundry, as our GM, and a bunch of other cast members as well. And I'm really excited to continue producing everything in regards to the indie field. The next thing that we're going to be doing are 210 Candles productions that are going to be focused on Dino Crisis, which is an inspiration of Jurassic Park. So it's a Jurassic Park, basically 10 Candles game, which is going to be insane. And I'm really excited about that. And then we're going to be doing a 10 Candles game in space on the International Space Station, which is going to be really, really fun. So those are going to be GM'd by 2 other GMs. Enough about Abby is going to be GMing the Dino Crisis one. And we have Kaz, who will be GMing our Silence game, which is going to be pretty creepy. I'm really excited to produce those. I'm an executive producer for both of them, so you won't see me on screen. Maybe as a guest for like a couple seconds, but everybody knows with 10 Candles it can get very dark very fast. So I will be on there for purposes. Anyways, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're also going to be doing a Vampire the Masquerade, which is going to be really, really exciting. And with all of our productions, we also try to include diversity and culture within the TTRPG in many different mediums. So that's something that we purely focus on as well. Me being Latin, I try to do what I can to bring in cultural and diversity in all of my characters, but also within the games that we produce and play. So in Jurassic Park, or excuse me, not Jurassic Park, Dino Crisis, we are going to be in Chile. So the setting is going to be based in Chile in the rainforest, which is going to be really fun. And the International Space Station, obviously, there's a bunch of different cultures and countries that are going to be up in the space station as well. And in Vampire the Masquerade, we're going to be in Tampa, Florida. So Tampa by Night is going to be the name of that AP, where we are going to focus on Central, South America, and Caribbean cultures, along with South American culture as well, which include the South of America, literally not South America, but South of America. You get my point. So the southeast part of the United States, y'all. So we're gonna have that as well. And we're going to also be focusing on not just the players that play in the game and their backgrounds as that, but also producing it in different ways. So we'd love to play music and sound effects during those. And shout out to Sirenscape and a bunch of other artists who are collaborating with our channel to bring that culture and diversity in different ways. So we have an artist that's currently in Brazil who is doing all of our art for all of our campaigns, which is going to be fantastic. And we have a dice maker who is also from South America that will be providing dice and things. And there's going to be a lot of other things that I can't really talk about just yet, but it's going to be really, really exciting. And there are some future APs down the line that I have lined up for 2025 that will be coming down the line. And you can find me personally GMing a bunch of stuff on my channel, but also on a bunch of other stuff. You can find me as a player on, oh man, the list is very long. Castleton, one of them, Folk and Myths, Vampire Games, Philly by Night, and so on and so forth. The list is ever growing. So I'm a very, very busy guy, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, you've got so much going on.
It's so much fun, honestly. It really, I make sure first and foremost, you have downtime for yourself, because recovery is the
Yes.
most important thing, and you need to pace yourself, because if not, you're going to burn out. But luckily enough, I have been able to schedule things out with enough time so that I don't burn out and be able to do all of the good things. But I'm really excited, and thank you so much again for the invite. And I'm excited to be here with everybody else.
Of course, I love having y'all here. Y'all, get that Southern in there for you. Did I see you did a panel possibly at GenCon where you actually got a little love because of the representation,
Yes.
which is
So
awesome?
we did. We had, so I didn't know who you were talking to, because I think Mika had one as
I'm
well.
sorry. I was just continuing with you.
Did you not have a
Oh,
panel, Mika?
it got canceled. I was going to do an AP panel with
Gotcha.
tabletop tail spinners,
Gotcha.
but then half the cast ended up pulling out because
Got
of Gen Con stuff.
Yep. No, I just wanted to make sure. Like, I was like, wait, didn't Mika have one too? So yeah, we did have a panel on world building and integrating world building with TTRPG players, with your TTRPG players, because the GMs are not in charge of the world. It's actually everybody's world, and we're all integrated and supposed to be telling the story together. And we had some really awesome representation at the panel, and also we got some love from the community. And Rowan Hall, who is a developer for Critical Role, Darrington Press. She helped write Candela Obscura, and she was on our panel as well. So we had a pretty awesome panel that night. And the only complaint that I ever heard from everybody else was the fact that there wasn't enough time. So we need to
Nice.
make sure that we have more time for the next panel that we do. So it was definitely a great opportunity to have everybody there. And maybe in PAX U, we have the same panel, probably different panelists because of, travel stuff and things like that, but the topics will be the same. And we're looking to add an additional panel, which we'll keep on the wraps for now, but it definitely would be in the same realm of world building and cultural diversity. So we're definitely going to be doing that, hopefully in PAX U. So I'll be in PAX U for sure, because my ticket's already bought and my hotel is already booked. So I'll be there in
Nice.
some capacity.
Yep, PAX U just came on my radar a little bit. Actually, as I was flying home from Gen Con, and a panel opportunity came up there. So I said, oh, feel like I'm going from one to another,
PAX U is super
we,
fun.
we,
I've been the last 2 years and did a panel at the last one, and it's just a great time.
I was going to ask you about that because I know you've done several for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done one at PAX U and 2 at PAX East. But it was all the same thing. Like, basically we ran a live version of Tales from the Tavern at PAX. And so The difference being you don't have a live chat to like put questions in. So what we did is my husband would hand out index cards while everybody was in line waiting to come in, and they'd just write their questions down, and we literally like I'd flip through them in like less than 5 minutes just to make sure that I could read them, and we'd just go from there. Um, so it was kind of it was as close to authentic as we could get it. We didn't know what the questions were gonna be, um, and that sort of thing, but it's been fun because I've been able to partner with, like, Critical Hit cookies, so we've given out cookies for questions that we think
Amazing.
are really good, and um, we've given out dice and books and all kinds of fun stuff like that. It's so fun, and I go to PAX East every year because I live about an hour and a half north of Boston. So I've been going to PAX East since I've been to every one since 2012. Um, but PAX Unplugged only came on my radar. We went to the first one in 2022. Um, and it's really nice because one of the things I love about it is that it's such a the vibe is so much more social than it is at PAX East because PAX East is mostly video games and PAX Unplugged is board games and TTRPGs. So it's far more interactive and there's just a lot more opportunity to like sit and talk with people and enjoy each other's company and that kind of thing. Whereas PAX East, I've had some really cool opportunities to meet people like years ago that I didn't even know who they were at the time, and then suddenly was like, "Oh, that was Tanya DePass," um, and but this was like before any of us were really doing any of this stuff, um, and it's still fun, but it's like a quick like 10 minutes while you're standing in line together, and then you're off to the next thing. So um, yeah, I really enjoy PAX U for that reason.
Yeah, I'd heard it was very good for just for the bonding and the social building and being
Yeah.
to actually kind of breathe a little bit and
Yeah.
spend some time together as opposed to the quick.
If I may add to PAX
Of
U,
course.
PAX U was my first, last year was my first PAX U. And honestly, it was such a great vibe.
Mm,
It was very social, but you also get the opportunity to play a lot of games,
yeah.
which was a lot better, in my opinion, than Gen Con. Gen Con is just, there's so much happening, right? I think there was 24,000 events at this year's Gen Con alone. And there's just so much going on at one particular moment in time that you can't get around to everything. But with PAX U, there was an opportunity for you to kind of get a little bit more vibe and cozier and be able to be like, tell your friends who are there and be like, hey, let's get together to play at a game, or whatever, and really vibe out and just chill and really get to know the games a little bit better. Whereas Gen Con, I feel like you can do that, not to say you can't. You can, but like it's always in a rush because there's like another group behind us and like we got to hurry up and get this done because they're trying to shoo us out because there's another group coming in, and there's a constant rotation where like PAX U is a little bit less hectic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it seems Gen Con seemed to me like the speed dating vibe,
Yeah,
and what you're
100%.
describing with PAX U sounds more like the beer at the pub later.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's my opinion in it. It's like it's very cozy in that sense.
Yeah. And so jumping ahead a little bit, um, when you're doing these panels, I know sometimes you're a guest and sometimes you're producing the panel. So if there's people out there who are in this space who are maybe a little bit afraid to jump in and do something, do you have any tips or advice that you want to throw at them?
Are you? I'm just trying to figure out. Are
Anybody?
you anybody?
Yeah.
So this was my first panel ever putting together. I put this panel together at Gen Con, And man, what a what to kick off, like a way to kick off your first panel is at GenCon, right? Because that was absolutely nuts. What I will say is I learned a lot of things. There was a lot of things that were done well, and there was a lot of things that I could improve on. I'm always a person that thinks that I can improve on things, so I always try to ask. Number one, listen to your audience. Right, your audience is asking for more time, then give them more time. So that was literally the biggest complaint that I received was like, "Damn it, we wish we had more time." Um, so that was really cool. The next thing is don't try to do it all on your own. Having someone who can be there as your support, as far as like, even if it's administratively, right? Definitely, definitely a must. Because you can't do everything on your own as much as you want to, and there's other people's lives, and like even yourself, you need to be able to breathe. So having someone there to help you along the way is definitely a must. um so I did learn from that, is like really get that organized with more than just yourself. The other thing is c- have a coordination with your group somewhere, like where you all can have a group chat, so that everyone knows where to meet and how long before the panel to meet, so that you guys can get everything set up for it. That's really important. Also, try to talk to the venue, see if you can put up flyers and stuff to help with like spreading the word. Let everyone participate as far as like setting out socials events and things like that, so that you're not always the only one doing all the work. I think that's definitely a must. And have buy-in from your panel, right? And listen to your panelists who are there and be like, okay, let's talk it over. Because as much as you want to be an executive producer or producer of this panel and you want to put on a show, you also want to make sure that the topics that are being covered are of interest to your panelists as well. So that is, in my opinion, probably one of the most important things you have to do, is making sure that your panelists have an understanding of the type of questions that could be asked, during the panel, so that they're not taken by surprise, and it can be a little bit more uh cohesive as far as like how things are run. Make sure that you're not wasting anyone's time as well. So like, yourself and the audience and the viewers, you want to make sure that you're start on time and end on time, right? That is really, really important, especially during these events, because some of your panelists may be on multiple panels, and if you take too long in your panel, that's you're being disrespectful in a way to the next panel that's being done, and all the work that they're trying to do for those panels. So uh basically, be kind, be a professional. And I'm going to shut up because I can talk forever, and we're GMs, so there. Ha.
That was a great list though. Luna, I saw
Yeah,
you
I was
wanted
going
to
to say
jump in.
literally all of that. um yeah, I mean, I think the the thing for me is the only panels I've ever done have been at a PAX event, and the nice thing that for that is if you figured out how to do it at one, you figured out how to do it at all of the PAXs, because they run them the same way, and they're very, like, as far as the timing goes, they're very strict about um the, like, start time and end time. Like, you are going to start on time and you are going to end on time, or they will kick you out of the room mid sentence. Like, that's just how they operate. Which is great because the next group has their 30 minutes to get set up and get their stuff going. And uh so they will literally, like, you can't even group in the room. Like, they will literally escort you and be like, you can go stand out here in the hallway. But anyway, yeah, I think the point about having somebody or a few somebodies who can help you. My husband is awesome with this stuff. Like, he i- we figured out what I needed, and then the more times I've done it, the more he's been like, okay, I'll do this, this, and this, and I'm like, great, I need you to do that, that, and the other thing. And it's it's so helpful when there's somebody there who's just like, I'm going to take this off your plate for you so you don't even have to think about it, because it doesn't seem like there'd be much to think about when running a panel, but I think, you hit it on the head. Like, you want to make sure that all of your panelists show up on time and they know where they're going and they know where to find the panel room, because the one day that your panel is might be the only day they're there. Um, so yeah, having a way to connect with everybody, whether that's a Discord chat or a group text or whatever it is, um, definitely, definitely helps. I had one person the very first time I ran a PAX East panel who she was like, "Yep, I'll be there." And then I didn't hear a word from her again until she walked in the room 5 minutes before the panel started. I had no idea if she was even going to show up. So, making sure that you have people that are going to be dedicated to being on the group and like are excited about it and interested in it. Um, for me, doing Tales from the Tavern, when I put my panel together, when I've put all of my panels together, they've all been made up of people who have done the live stream so that they knew what to expect kind of going into this. Like, these are the types of questions that we might get asked. Because it's not like a typical, here's our set topic, we're going to talk about this for 45 minutes and then do a Q&A for 15 minutes. It's literally all Q&A about whatever people want to ask. So
Yeah.
you have to get people who are able to roll with that and who understand the kind of questions that they may get. But yeah, I mean, I think everything else is exactly what I would have said.
Nice. And you talk about support. There's so much in the TTRPG space in general. I feel like I am fairly new to it. I kind of slipped in here in October of last year, and it's just been amazing to me to see how supportive everyone is with each other, and celebrating each other. It's just been really great. Which brings me to, let's switch gears a little bit, and talk a little bit about Roll D5, because
Ooh, well, first I had a question. What does it mean
yeah.
to produce or executive produce an AP series?
So to executive produce an AP series, that's a loaded question. So it means to be the organizer. It means to put your name and stamp on it as far as your quality of production. You're putting everything together, right?
Mhm.
So you're recruiting people, you're doing the research, you're helping with the GM, you're making yourself basically the resource for your production, right? So if you're
Okay.
going to run a production, right, and say we're doing, I don't know, 10 candles game, right? It would be my job, if I'm not GMing it, to look for the GM and then talk to the GM, set proper expectations, whatever those expectations are, because it's going to differ from AP company to AP company. And then you're going to set those expectations out, have that conversation with the GM, and then start recruiting and looking for the cast that fits the game that they're looking for, right? Once you do that, then you help with the session zero. You basically help organize their artwork, the music, and I'll give you an example for what I do, right? I will look for the music. I will find the artist. I will give you the platform. I'll tell you what those expectations are. We'll find a good date that is good for the GM and the players. It's scheduling out those things, finding out the marketing for them, putting together all of the pieces together. So like you're basically doing all of the legwork for them so that all that your GMs and players have to do is to focus on playing the game. So you're doing basically all of the back end work that a person would normally do if it was on their own, right? So in my case, I do something completely different. And for those who've been on my channel, they understand what that process is like. And again, every company is going to be different. Every AP production is going to be different. So it's just a matter of what those expectations are. And I can only talk to, excuse me, to what I provide as an AP channel. but long story short, an executive producer is someone who should be a helping hand and putting the production together for whatever it is that you're putting together. So whatever game you're putting together or panel you're putting together or, et cetera, et cetera. You're basically giving your stamp of approval.
Yeah, I'll add a little bit to that too, just in the sense of quality control and an overarching theme. So if it's a specific channel, so if it's Twisted Fates, I'm assuming that you would do, marketing and everything else that would be cohesive, so people would know that it's Twisted Fates and that
Correct.
kind of thing. So
yep,
yeah, so it's
yep.
just
Making sure the
overseeing.
branding's on point as far as if you're doing it for Twisted Fates, right? You could still be an executive producer for a different different company, right? So for instance, and I'm only going to use it because I know your company, Mika, but like Roll D5, if you guys are like, hey, we need help on an AP, could you help produce this with us? And I would be like, absolutely. So I would be a producer on your stuff and help you put all the resources together, so that you guys can have production that is valuable to your branding and your things, right? So it doesn't have to be reflective of Twisted Fates. Could be that I produced something on your channel and I'm helping you basically build that AP, right? So it's not necessarily, I say executive producer because I'm the lead producer in my company. So that's what it is.
So like it's
Kate
something
is
I've just
asking.
have heard. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, like that's just a term I've heard thrown around, like producer, executive producer. I'm like, am I a producer? Is that
you
what
are.
my thing is?
You are.
Yeah, you're an
I've just never
you're a
bothered to ask
producer
until now.
Yeah, you're a producer of your own APs. Have you done everything to put out for your productions? Like, that's a legit question. Like, have you been the person who literally helps put everything together so that you guys can play it on your channel?
I'll put a lot of it together.
Yep, you're a producer.
Casting, do a lot of casting and shit. So, cool. Yeah, I do production shit.
You're
cool.
producing. Yeah, you're a production. You're doing producing. The best way that I could put it is Kate, the great cosplayer, actually said it in chat, and they're like, letting creatives focus purely on creating by handling the logistics. So, if you're doing all the logistics stuff on the side, then you're a producer. If you are doing it with other people, and again, Kate is saying it, I would be a co-producer, right? Someone who helps with that, or an associate producer, depending on the levels. So like, if you don't do that much and you're just there to kind of like help with whenever you can, then you're an associate producer. Co-producer would be like someone who's your left or right hand man, woman, or person. So that's kind of it. Is it an LLC? It's in the process of getting the LLC.
Even in TV and film, it's the same kind of deal, and it can be dependent upon the size of the organization, the broadcast channel, whatever. Yeah. It's just kind of overseeing that. Yeah. Imaginif Media does that as well. So like Goose Poop's Creative Coop, that was an idea that Jordan brought in, and I'm assisting him to get that going. Yeah. So it's that providing support and overseeing a little bit, which let's roll into Roll D5 a little bit. We've got some cool things that have happened recently, with maybe an awards ceremony next week that could.
Yeah. So yeah, we were nominated for a Crit Award for Best Upcoming Channel. I think the channel had to be less than 2 years old, or around 2 years old. And so Roll D5 turned 2 in June.
Happy birthday!
Yeah, and so we I know there are 3 other channels nominated. All great channels. Because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I'm involved in it, of course it's not going to win, is kind of how I feel. Like, the fact that we're even nominated, like, Whoa there. Are you sure?
Yes.
100,000,000%.
I'm going to be on stream during the time of the awards, and so I'm only going to be like half paying attention. I'll be on Entropy Emporium, the Weird Wilds War, and
Cool.
yeah, so I'll just be kind of like Lance Cooper, like, have they gotten to us yet? Do we win? Do we lose? So that could potentially affect my performance in the game, depending.
So what you're saying is, if you suck, that's the reason.
Yeah, that's the exact reason. Not because I'm playing a paladin for the first time in my life and don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, I did that with a wizard.
Yes, you
It's
did.
scary.
That
It's
was a
scary.
choice that you should not have made.
Yeah,
It'll be fine,
for
I'm sure.
sure. But it wasn't
Um,
streamed.
yeah.
So it was just torturing you guys.
You got to learn how to play eventually.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
was my
Oh,
thought.
Rara brings up Mika's talking about like he's not a permanent cast member of an award-winning podcast. It's true. The Heart
Right.
is a Dungeon is an award-winning podcast. Just found out they got accepted to the New Zealand Web Fest.
Hell yeah.
Oh, cool.
Rara just got interviewed by Rascal Rascal News. I mean, the Heart is a Dungeon is pretty unique. It's got some nice lo-fi vibes going on in the background. We're just being a little chaotic fae.
Rara, you need the
Also,
hype too. You are also
you do need the
amazing.
hype, Rara. I wish there was more. I could totally like some of the, because people are like, "Oh, my character's so chaotic." You're like, "Yeah, I." Oh God, that was very. Oh, I don't like the way I said that. Calling myself out there.
Pull
But
it
like
back.
I God, Lala. I don't know. I just know what buttons to push or something. Lala. I wish I could say some of the stuff he's done recently, but those episodes haven't come out yet. And waiting for Rara to tell me if there's anything I can say. Just I want it's just listen to The Heart is a Dungeon. It's fun. It's got good vibes. It's got humor. It's got sadness. It's got a face circus. It's
Hell
got me
yeah.
doing the Batman voice and saying "ka" a lot.
Tuning in.
Oh,
It's the
Okay,
real
I
the
could.
reason.
cafe and nothing else.
Yeah, Lala, a play I took since a Powered by the Apocalypse game was to basically steal something. These are very like broad, powerful moves, and it's just like, you get like a 9 or above, and it's yours. Whoever thought it was theirs originally, it just fades from their mind. It's like it was never theirs. And I ended up stealing a cafe. This is not one of the most chaotic things. This is pretty tame, but I just like, oh, hey, I like this cafe. I'm gonna take this, and then I use the move, and then I'm a very greedy little fae, and I store my treasure inside of myself and my cigarette when I'm not using it, and I now have an entire cafe inside the void that is my body,
It
and
feels a little
it's not the
chaotic.
first time I've done that. Yeah,
It's fine. It's fine.
It's
no,
beautiful
it's
madness.
cool. It wasn't the first one he took either. Um, that's that's not the chaotic one, Kate. I still feel like that one's pretty normal for it's. Oh God, I need to stop. Yeah, and so I'm award-winning podcast. I like doing things. Hi, I'm Mika. I do things. I
Thank you for
lost the thread
sharing.
of what I was talking about.
No, it's good. We were celebrating your nominee, to which all of you I know we're very surprised, but I'm sure I can talk for the group here and say none of us were surprised because the channel is fabulous. Did you want to jump in?
We
Oh, you were just agreeing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope we continue to grow and continue to have more people on or whatever. It's been nice to just have a like we started off playing. Actually, North, I was going to ask you about this. Have you heard of
Sure.
Arium?
Arium. No, not that I.
Sounds like a toy store.
Because
It really does.
you brought up how like the world isn't just the GMs; it's the players as
Oh,
well.
yes.
Arium is a world building system.
Mm,
You can use it as its own rules light system or to create a world. And I've used this with players before for 5e and for other stuff. Um, and it goes through this entire process of creating a world together. And
sure.
so like you've got this board and sticky notes, everything's split up into like first off like lines and veils kind of deal,
Mhm.
and then into general shoot, now I just want to bring this up. Hold on, give me 10 seconds. Fill the
You got
void.
it.
If I don't find this, then the 10 seconds. I don't want to kill the. Here we go. Arium create. Okay, opening this up. I'm still talking. I'm saying things. None of this is really. I like Muppets. I would love a
Yes.
Muppet of myself.
Yes. We should be a.
We should play
I
Muppets.
want to be a part of a Muppet TTRPG
That's
game.
actually
Yes.
been done before.
Same.
Yes, I know, but I want to be a Muppet. I
I
want to play
know.
Treasure Island. Like Muppet Treasure Island would be freaking fantastic.
I'm in.
It would be. Okay, here we go. So you get tokens, some sticky notes, and everything. I'll post this in the chat. The name of this game. And so the different things you go over are in your creation phase. There's universal things that exist. Um, the big picture, kind of what you want to happen in the game. Um, you go over the vibe you're looking for, the genre. Then you go over like the culture and organizations that are there, the landmarks, the people, including making some NPCs, and then finally some goodies. Then everyone has like a minute to come up with like 3 or 4 ideas. Then you spend the next minute like voting on which ones you like the best, and then the top voted ones get to go on. So yeah, Arium. Highly recommend Arium if you want to make things with your players.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Another great card to jump on that. It's actually a card building game. It's by Darrington Press, called For the Queen. Really, really good card game system. Helps you build a world that they have, but it gives you a better understanding of how to build worlds. So like it sets you up with this card based system. It's you can play it in about 30 to 120 minutes. So like, it could be 30 minutes long, or it could be up to like 2 hours long, right? But it's really quick. And they did a really good job. It's 91 cards that come travel ready, so you can take it with you anywhere. It's a really great system that inspires you how to like really build out a world. But they did a really good job. It's actually, the game designer was Alex Roberts. Probably one of the most interesting card games that to help you with like world building that I've come across 100%. And it was actually highly recommended by Rowan Hall as well. So
Okay.
definitely 100% worth picking up. And I think go check it out on their website, darringtonpress.com. I am.
This episode
Let me
has
make
been
sure
sponsored
I
by.
am not sponsored by. Not sponsored by.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not
Hashtag.
sponsored by Darrington at all. But definitely worth a checkout.
Yeah, for the Queen, I have not played yet. It's on my list. I tried to get in on GenCon and could not. But
It's only like
looks
23
amazing.
bucks. You can get it on their website too, and you get like free shipping, which I think, no, I'm lying. That's not true. I think it was really inexpensive. It was like 20 something dollars, $28 or something like that.
Cool. The idea of world building on stream and coming up with a game on stream. I did that recently, and it was wild. It was so chaotic and amazing. Um, it was like the session 0, but on a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that done too often.
It's something I'd like to play on Roll D5 again or on a different channel if anyone's interested. Like it can easily take a few hours, but it's just feels so good to like be in this writer's room scenario with everyone.
Yeah. That collaborative storytelling is taken to the next level right from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a little bit about the beginning. At the beginning about how, the GM is also telling the story with the players.
Mm-hmm.
It's a collaborative thing. It's not one person's in charge, and then the other people have to follow along. And a lot of people kind of miss that, where they're looking for that direction. Oh, Sean, hey. Sean was involved with Mass Chaos. But that idea of everybody just from the get-go, where it's nothing, we don't know anything, and we're all collaboratively just deciding everything rather than one or the other.
I'm actually a game designer by trade. So like world building is something I absolutely love and obsessed, and I can stay here and talk for it for hours. But I won't do that because that's not fair, and I talk too much. So
yeah, that'll be another show.
That'll be later down the road. However, I personally don't like session zeros to be aired. And the reason why is I like for the session zeros to be intimate with the players and the GMs so that they have the ability to really open up and hash out any issues that may come up during Lines and Veils, or even just being able to make sure that everyone vibes together, right? Because like I feel like, and this is my opinion, not to say that that's wrong for those people that do it. You guys do your thing. I'm just saying personally what I think. And my personal opinion is like I want people to really just sit down and talk and not feel like they have to be on, right? Because there is a sense of entertainment when we're on stream, and you have to be quote unquote on. And for that instance, I rather be offline, talk it over so that everyone has their guards down and really think about the characters. And again, we could talk about world building another time, but that's kind of like my opinion. Again, not to say that with people who do it wrong. That's you and your prerogative, and you're more than like, if everyone agrees to it and everyone agrees to it. But like for me personally, I don't do them live.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, even with the ones where you're building the story, that session 0 is critical to do off stream for the reasons that you mentioned. Yeah. And I was more talking about the actual, kind of design of the story as you're going. So yeah,
I see.
coming up with
So
those,
like,
and
got it.
the quick making the decision, and you have to, where are we doing this, where's this location, and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So you what
Just
you're
adds a
saying
little
is
of
more
chaos.
like basically like having the world that you've already agreed upon with your players, and you're just building it with the viewers as well. Like what would be cool is like
Yeah.
if we put a dragon here, or like a an item here, or maybe you're making like a homebrew item or something like that together. I see it. I know what you're talking about now. I just thought
Yeah.
like session 0 was like, oh, I don't do session zeros like that.
Yeah, no, those intimate moments are important. Yeah, and lines and veils are critical. I don't do anything without them personally. Yeah. Yeah, Kate, not streaming session 0.1 for sure.
Here's
We're coming up on our hour, and I like to try to keep it around an hour just to kind of respect everyone's time. both the listeners and our participants. So, kind of what I want to do now is just go around and have everybody just promote anything that they've got coming up, anything that I didn't ask about, we didn't get time for, that you want to kind of throw in there. And we'll kind of go in reverse order, and we'll start with Northwolf.
Oh no, not me.
Yes, you.
I talk too much.
That's not a
Well,
thing.
if you talk too much, North. Well, my name is Northwolf 911. I am an executive producer for Twisted Fates, and there's so much that we're doing and so many things that we're promoting. But I will say that I'm really excited because we just announced our cast and GM for Dino Crisis, which is a Jurassic Park 10 Candles game, and I'm really, really excited about that cast and that
Be so
GM.
fucking dope.
They're so just I hype up all of my friends. So like everyone in here, first and foremost, follow, GamerMomLuna, follow Mika, follow Imaginif. Did I even please make sure I said that right.
You did.
All right, yes, Imaginif Media, right? Make sure you guys follow them because they're all amazing. I love to hype up my friends, and they are all amazing for their own individual reasons. With as far as like myself, I'm everywhere, and if you really, really want to know where I am, follow my socials because I have a long list of things that I'm doing, and I will sit here for another 45 minutes taking airtime, and I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and say you guys have been amazing, and I talk too much, and make sure to go follow these people down below because they're amazing. And I'm gonna pass it over to GamerMomLuna.
Yeah, that's me. I am GamerMomLuna. I'm gonna very quickly use this opportunity. I mentioned it in chat, but I'm gonna answer the question that Kate dropped in chat about what inspired me to make kid-friendly content. I'm a social worker by education. That's where I got my start. I don't do social work really anymore, but also I'm a mom, in case anyone was wondering where the mom part of my username came from. But yeah, just being a parent, being in social work, having worked in the public school systems, it was just really refreshing to be invited to play something that isn't for adults only, or for adults primarily, because there's a lot of kids out there who love TTRPGs, and it's a really nice thing to be able to make stuff for them. Um, and so to that point, you can find me on Stories RPG, which you can find pretty much anywhere podcasts are sold. I am in the transdimensional high story arc. So there's a current episode that was released, I think it was last week. And then that was like episode 6 in that storyline. So you can go back like 6 episodes and listen to the whole thing. And you can also find me once a month on Tales from the Tavern, where we are, basically the talk show where we take all of our questions from chat. It's super fun. If anybody is ever interested in coming on, hint, hint, everybody here, I am always looking for guests. So I really, people don't have to be streamers or podcasters or anything. It's just anybody who wants to come on and talk TTRPGs. Although having a decent quality mic really helps because it's really hard to have somebody on here if their microphone is echoing everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, so definitely you can shoot me a DM on Twitter, X, whatever the heck it's called these days, or look me up. I'm in the Imaginif Discord, so you can find me in there. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have going on these days. So that's me. I'll pass it along.
Hi, I'm Mika. I do things. I'm going to talk a bit about like what Roll D5 has coming up. So this month, next week we have Necromancer Flower Shop, one pager. Then Stack of Goblins on the 21st, and then Flabbergasted on the 28th. And I'm gonna give y'all a little sneak peek at what we'll be doing next month. We haven't released the casting call, but we're pretty sure we're going to be doing Grimoire Punk, um, Shadow Dark, and a special solar punk game by one of our mods, Andrew, that he created. He's a friend of mine I made like way back in the day. I've known him for like a decade. And he designs games for fun and stuff. He hasn't put anything out there, which surprises me because like I've played his games and they're a lot of fun. So I'm hoping like once we play, he'll get that out there, get him to do that. But a special event we're doing. So we did this with solo games last month for Crit Award nominated games, and so next month we're doing a 2-player game showcase all day where you'll be able to see us play duo games with people.
Adorable.
Yeah, and yeah, check out The Heart is a Dungeon, and I don't know, catch me places. Follow me on social media to figure these out. Yeah.
I appreciate all of you joining me. I guess I'll say we're gonna have a creator spotlight next week. We normally don't do two. But next week we have Hey Calamity. We have Luke from Grey Castle Press, and we have Nate from Mean Green Press. So I hope
Nice.
you can join us
Very
for
nice.
that one.
Stacked. That is
Yeah.
stacked.
And I would like to say too that we did take a little bit of time off. We took about a month and a half off. And that was an intentional decision to do that, both for personal, just slow down because I was doing too many things, but also because we really wanted to make sure that our focus was in highlighting creators who are not often given the opportunity to do that. So we have put the focus on BIPOC and LGBTQIA plus. So we are always going to make sure that we have that representation. And if we do not, we don't roll with it. There will be a few exceptions here and there. We've got a creator coop coming up that's actually an international version, which is kind of fun. So there will be some things here and there, but it was important to me for us to stop and make sure we were going forward in the way that we wanted to do with the right representation. So thank you for your patience, kind of while we work through that. And if you're interested in being on the stream, you can check our link tree has a little button where you can submit and be on the stream. Give us all the good information that we need so we can have you on there. And if you've been on here before, you want to come back, come back. I love to talk too. So you can join us at any time. We appreciate you. And we are here for those of you who create, play, and heal. Thanks.